Can we American brothers and sisters really unite? Do we even know where to begin? Imagine you're a leader trying to unite 10 million people, let alone 50 million, who are deeply divided. Some groups within our community want radical change, others cling to the past, and each has unique needs and interests. The challenge? To reach 70% unity, a level where a strong majority pulls in the same direction. But here's the twist. What if you started with zero unity, no unity at all, versus what if you already had 40% of people on board? The cost and timeline to get to that 70% goal are drastically different. Today, we'll walk through the unity roadmap, step by step, comparing both scenarios. And by the end, you'll see just how much starting conditions matter. Phase 1, Foundation and Listening. Phase 1 is all about laying the foundation, building trust, creating listening channels, and delivering early wins. In the scenario where there's zero unity, this phase takes about 2 years and costs up to $1.2 billion. Wow. Why is that? Because the leader has to convince people from scratch that their voices matter in a way that motivates them to act as one. You feel me? This means building new councils, launching national listening tours, and funding quick, visible projects that touch everyone. And where should unity be at the end of this phase percentage-wise? About 35 to 40% roughly, using our methodology. In the 40% unity scenario, where it's 40% unity, the story changes. People already trust leadership at some level. Phase 1 compresses into just 1 year and costs $500 to $800 million. The result? Unity crosses the 50% mark right away because less energy is wasted overcoming skepticism. You got it? Now pay attention. Phase 2, Shared Projects and Conflict Resolution. Phase 2 is where the real glue comes in. Shared projects that force subgroups in our community to work together, plus conflict resolution mechanisms to smooth disagreements. For 0% unity, this phase spans years 3 and 4, costing $1 to $1.8 billion. Think big ticket projects, healthcare hubs, education programs, disaster resilience centers. At the same time, heavy investment in mediation programs ensures that disputes don't tear people apart, sending us back to square one. By the end, unity rises to 50 to 60%. At 40% unity, costs drop to $700 million to $1.2 billion, with lighter conflict mediation needs. People are already halfway cooperative, so the shared projects create faster buy-in. By the end of year 3, unity sits at about 60 to 65%. Now, I know the numbers and stats sound nerdy, but if we want to get past just talking about unity, we need a concrete, resilient strategy and plan. Phase 3, Institutionalization and Reinforcement. Phase 3 is about locking in gains so unity doesn't collapse with the next crisis or leadership change. And we have to admit, we've been too emotional in some of our responses to past crises. Being too emotional gives the enemy control because he who can make you emotional can control you. In the 0% unity scenario, remember that's like no unity at all. This phase takes a full 3 years, costing $500 million to $1.2 billion. Institutions must be built almost from scratch. Fairness audits, leadership succession programs, and cultural rituals that reinforce identity. Unity stabilizes at 70% or more only by year 7. Now, in the 40% unity scenario, where we're assuming we're starting off with some unity, right? Phase 3 is faster and cheaper. 2 years at $400 to $800 million. The groundwork already exists, so institutions are easier to reinforce. By year 5, unity stabilizes above 70% and the group can function independently of a single leader. Now, that is a very important point, as I've often mentioned in previous videos and articles that our history of relying on one or a few national leaders has never been robust enough to sustain us. All of the most capable among us needs to be active at the local, regional, and national level. All of us, using a common platform for unity as outlined in this video. The cost and time comparison. So let's compare. 0% unity scenario, $2.3 to $4.7 billion, 6 to 7 years duration. Then you have the 40% scenario, $1.6 billion to $2.8 billion, 4 to 5 years. That's a 30 to 40% savings in cost and 2 years saved on the clock, simply by starting from a higher baseline of trust. Closing comments and key takeaways. So what's the big takeaway? Unity is not free. It requires infrastructure, shared projects, fairness, and time. But where you start matters just as much as the roadmap itself. If a leader begins with near zero trust, it's a 7-year uphill climb costing billions. But if they inherit or create even a modest 40% unity foundation, the journey is faster, cheaper, and more sustainable. This lesson applies not just to nations, but also to companies, communities, and organizations. Unity is an investment, and the earlier you build trust, the less you'll spend later. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's leading a divided community today or divided group today. Subscribe for more insights on leadership, strategy, and transformation. Until the next video, brothers and sisters, take care.